So for those joining the video, just to let you know, we will be using weights today. You will want a block, and we're going to be sliding our feet on the floor. So if you're on a wood floor, you're going to want a blanket or a towel. And if you're on a carpeted floor, you might get a couple of plastic bags to put your feet in so that your feet will slide. Or you can just slide them without anything too. That'll be fine. So get all your stuff together, and then we'll make our way over to our mats. And as we begin, you can choose if you want to begin sitting down or lying down. So if you're sitting, find a way that your legs are comfortable and feel your sitting bones rooting down so that you sit up nice and tall. And if you're lying down, go ahead and plant your feet on the floor to give your back a little support. And whether you're sitting or lying, you might choose to close your eyes. You're also welcome to keep them open. But I'd like you to begin by drawing your awareness to what it feels like to be where you are right now. So just noticing the temperature in the space that you're in, the feeling of your skin. Noticing the feeling of the ground beneath you, supporting you. Noticing how your body is feeling, whether you're sitting or lying down. How is your body feeling right now? You know, we only feel in the present moment. We don't feel earlier or feel later. So when we tap into sensation, it brings us into the present moment. So paying attention to how things feel is a way to cultivate mindful awareness. So bring your mindful awareness now to the roof of your mouth, which is shaped like a dome. And see if you can imagine the roof of your mouth broadening out towards the sides of your mouth, towards your molars, towards the back of your head, as if it's going from a dome shape to a more flat, plain surface. And imagine the roof of your mouth expanding past your sides of your head, the back of your head, that plane just continuing out. And notice if that creates any sensation of spaciousness or openness or how that feels. And then begin to bring your awareness to your breathing. Notice the feeling of your breath as it moves into your body. Notice the feeling of your breath as it empties out of you. And slow down your breathing so that your in-breath is deep and full and expansive. And your out-breath is a complete releasing and letting go. Take your time, give yourself whatever time it takes for a nice full deep breath in and a full releasing of the breath. How does it feel to slow down and breathe deeply? We often fill our days, we feel rather busy. And it's important to know that we can take time to just slow down, to fully embrace and experience the present moment. It's good for our minds, it's good for our bodies, to just breathe, to just feel, to just notice, appreciate. So maybe one more full deep breath in and out. And then beginning to transition to a more natural breath rhythm. And before we begin to move, let's just take a moment to consider what we might be needing today. So what could we focus on or set as our intention or our theme for this morning? What could you use a little more of in your life or in your day? It can be helpful to just breathe in something, cultivate something positive. And just know that the default is always just love and compassion. Can I treat myself with love and compassion? But maybe today you need something else a little more, a little patience or forgiveness or trust or generosity or something else. Breathe something in. And perhaps come back to that throughout your practice this morning. So when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. Let's take one leg and hug the knee in and extend the other leg out straight on the floor. Bounce that knee on the straight leg a few times and just feel that leg being heavy on the floor as you hug the other knee in close. And then draw that knee out and open to the side as you breathe in. And then bring the knee back, grab it with both hands, cross your midline and pull that knee up towards the opposite shoulder and take a breath into that outer hip. And then bring the knee back. Let's lift the leg up in the air and hold behind the thigh, pressing the thigh into your hands. Let's just flex the foot and point the toes. And then just circle the ankle a few times in one direction. Nice, big, slow circles. And then the other direction, loosening up that lower leg a bit, that foot, the calf, the ankle. And then just change legs, hug the other knee in and extend that first leg out, bouncing the knee on the straight leg a few times so that the leg ends up nice and heavy on the ground. And then hugging the other knee in close. Let's open that knee out to the side as we breathe in. Bring the knee back, hug it across the body towards the opposite shoulder and breathe into that outer hip. Bring the knee back, lift the leg up, hold behind the leg, pressing the leg away from you into your hands. Press your heel up, pull your toes down. Stretch your toes up. And then circle that foot around a few times in one direction. And then a few times in the other direction. And then release that foot down. Great. All right. Now we're going to use our blocks. I want you to take the block the medium width, so not the widest width, but the medium width. Place it between your thighs, kind of halfway between your knees and your body. And as you hug onto the block, go ahead and lift your feet up off the floor and bring your knees up over your hips. And then lower your feet back down slowly. And then once your feet are down, relax and take a breath. And then again, hug the block and bring the knees up. And then we'll lower the feet back down. Once they're down, relax and take a breath. So we're going to keep doing that a few more times. So we're just waking up the low belly muscles here. Working in concert with the inner thigh muscles to fire up the low belly. And then the next time you hug the knees in and then bring the knees up, let's take the legs up and we're going to reverse curl, lifting the hips. And then we'll roll out and bend the knees and release the feet down. Now try not to use your arms as you do this. Sometimes we press the arms down to lift the hips, and we want to use the low belly. So sometimes I put my arms just kind of out to the side so that I don't use them to lift the hips. So let's do 2 more like this. Lifting the knees, lifting the legs, curling up, and then rolling out and down. And again, lifting the knees, lifting the legs, curling up, and then lowering down. Great. Take the block out, set it off to the side. Let's lift our heads up now and clasp our hands under our head, letting the weight of the head rest into the hands, elbows wide. We'll take a breath in. As we exhale, begin by knitting your ribs down into your belly and then curl up head, neck, and shoulders, lifting those shoulder blades off the floor, looking beyond your knees. And then we'll inhale and lower back. Again, we'll exhale, knit and curl up. And then let's reach the arms towards the knees. And then we'll lower back down, releasing the head. Again, we'll curl up, knit, and reach. And then we'll lower back down. 2 more like that. Curl up, knit, and reach. Those shoulder blades lifted, and then lower back down. And last one like that. So we're waking up the upper belly here now. All right. So now let's take our feet off the floor again, knees over hips. We'll lift our head a little bit. We'll take a breath in. As we exhale, we'll curl up. Let's extend one leg out and take that elbow across to the opposite knee. And then we'll bring the knee in and lower back down. Exhale, curl up. The other leg extends and twist across. Inhale and lower back. So we're coming up, extending a leg and twisting across, and then bringing the knee back and lowering down. Coming up, extending the leg and twisting across. Inhaling and lowering down. So we can think about elbow to knee, but let's also think about taking the rib cage on that side and bringing it towards the opposite thigh. So we're curling up and really trying to activate those oblique muscles to twist across and lower back down. A couple more like this. So we're trying not to pull on the head. We're trying to get that rotation more coming from the trunk. Let's do 1 more on each side. Exhaling as we come up and inhaling down and exhaling to come up and inhaling down. Nice job. All right, release your head, release your feet. Let's roll to the side. And as you're here on your side, I want you to take your bottom arm and wrap your waist. Take your top arm and place that hand on the floor, kind of right in front of your chest. Your knees are going to be bent, and we're going to try and push up with this hand that's on the floor, and then lower back down. So we're pushing up and lowering back down, targeting those triceps here in kind of a different way. Pushing yourself up and lowering back down, pushing up, lowering down. Keep going here. Working the upper arm, the shoulder here. Let's do 4 more. And 3 more. And 2 more. And last one. Great. All right, now let's put this bottom forearm on the floor, elbow right under shoulder. We'll keep our knees stacked, and we're just going to lift the hips up here. You can take your top arm and lift it up. We're just going to let the hips drop a little and then lift the hips up. Let the hips drop a little and then lift them up. So when we lift the hips up, you're kind of working that bottom sideways, lowering down and lifting up. Keep that forearm pressing into the floor. Try to keep some space between your shoulder and your ear. And we'll do 4 more of these. Kind of a little movement, just targeting that bottom side waist. So we have 2 more here. Lift. Let's hold that last one up. Take a breath. And then lower down. Great. We're going to swing our legs out in front, swing them around to the other side. We're going to come all the way down, wrapping this bottom arm around your waist, placing this other hand on the floor right in front of your chest. Knees are stacked. We're going to push ourselves up and lower back down. Pushing up and lowering down. Just changing the way we approach the movement. So we work the muscles a little differently. So, we have, our main muscles, biceps, triceps, etc. But there's the upper, there's the lower, there's the middle, there's like different fibers, right? There's different tissues in our body, and we want to work them all. So we like to switch up what we do. So we make sure we're activating every part of a muscle, ideally. All right, can we do 4 more? 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. It's possible that we did more on this side. Usually I'm pretty good at keeping them even, but I think I went a little longer on that second side. All right, let's bring our forearm on the floor, and then make sure you're not collapsing down. So you're pushing down, you've got some space here, and then hand on the hip. We're going to lift our hips up. You could keep your hand on your hip or lift that arm up, and then we're going to lower a bit, and we're going to lift up, and lower a bit, and lift up. So in that lifting up, that bottom side waist is contracting to keep that lift. And that forearm's pressing down, and there's space across the chest, across the back. We're not collapsing. Down and up a couple more times. Actually, we'll do 4 more. So down and lift, and down, and lift, and down, and lift, and last one here. Hold it up. Nice work. And then make your way down. Great. Let's make our way around to all 4s. Finding ourselves nice and square, knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. You might shift around a little bit. You might move your shoulders a bit, move your hips a little bit. Let's release the head and just let it hang for a moment. Maybe, free up any tension in your neck. And then let's just flow into cat and cow a few times, just on our own, in any way that feels nice. Letting your back round, letting your back extend and arch. Just moving with your breath. You can move a little side to side or front and back, whatever feels good. Just again, tap into sensation. Notice how it feels to give your spine a chance to move with your breath. And then eventually finding your way back to flat back. And let's go ahead and sit back on our heels, dropping into child's pose. You can let your arms be out in front or let your arms be supporting your head. As we arrive here, let's just take a few breaths into the back and allow the breath to empty and check in. Breathe in something supportive, positive. Let the breath go. And then when you're ready, you can lift your head up. We'll reach our arms out in front. Let's make our way up to downward facing dog. Press your hands into the mat. Feel the weight under thumbs, fingers, knuckles. Take your hips up and back. Release your head, shake it out, free it up. Bend your knees a bit. Draw the hips even further up and back. Take a deep breath in and out. Then let's lower to straight arm plank. All right, so this next thing we're going to do, you could do it like this, or you could drop to your knees. It's kind of hard. So we're going to do walking plank. So we're going to drop onto one forearm and the other forearm, and then back to the starting hand and then the other hand. And then start with the other arm. Forearm, forearm, hand, hand. And then start with the other arm. Forearm, forearm, hand, hand, and then start with the other arm. Forearm, forearm, hand, hand. So again, you can be on your knees or not on your knees. Forearm, forearm, hand, hand, forearm, forearm, hand, hand. We'll just do this one more time. Forearm, forearm, hand, hand, forearm, forearm, hand, hand. Great. All right. Let's lower the knees. Take the hips back a little bit. And then we're going to rock forward and we're going to lower down onto belly. And we'll do that a few times. We're going to push up and take the hips back. And then rock forward and lower down. So your arms are close to your body. So you're kind of sliding your body down along the inner line of your arms. So it's more of a tricep push up here. Pushing up and taking the hips back, rocking forward. And if you're on a hard surface, you want to cushion your knees, please do so. Hips go back, rock forward and lower down. Let's do 2 more like that. Back and forward and down. All right. Once we're here, come onto the tops of the feet. Get the heels of your hands by your low ribs. Let your chest sink into the floor. Your nose smushing down. Lift your chin and your nose so you're looking straight into the floor. Let's begin by pulling the heart forward and lifting the chest up into baby cobra. And then we'll lower back down. We'll do that again. Inhale up to baby cobra. And then let's lift our hands off the floor, lift the elbows up and squeeze in. And then release the hands, release the chest. Next time, let's keep our hands down. We'll inhale up to baby cobra. And if we like, we'll come up a bit higher into cobra. And then we'll lower back down. Now place your forearms on the floor and let your head rest on your hands. We're going to target the lower body a bit here. So I want you to bend one knee and flex your foot so your foot faces the ceiling. And then we're going to press that hip down and lift that thigh off the floor, like you're serving a platter on your foot up toward the ceiling. Your hamstring's really going to fire with this action. So as your hamstring is really firing, I want you to extend your leg back, 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 back until you're holding that straight leg up and you really feel the hamstring doing the work. Take a breath here and then relax that leg down. Let's do the other leg. We're going to bend the knee so the foot faces the ceiling. Press the front of that hip down to lift that thigh up off the floor. With that strong engaged hamstring, start to extend the leg back, 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 back until you're holding that leg up with the strong hamstring. Take a breath and then relax that leg down. Now let's activate those hamstrings and lift both legs up, reaching back through the toes. Could you lift the legs a little higher? Could you hug your heels in towards your midline and then separate your legs again? Again, hug your heels in towards your midline and then separate the legs. And then one more time, hug the heels in and then separate. Lift them a little bit higher and then release them down. Great. Let's bring our arms alongside the body, palms to the ceiling. We're going to press the hips down and lift the legs again. We'll reach back through the fingertips as we pull the heart forward and lift the chest up. Coming into our nice, long, strong locust pose. See if you can create any more length, and then see if you could lift the legs or lift the chest a bit more as you take one more breath. And then we'll exhale and lower down. Great. Let's push ourselves up, take the hips back, and again, make our way to child's pose. Another opportunity to check in, notice, feel, breathe. And then when you're you're ready, lift your head up, reach your arms out. We'll make our way to downward facing dog. We'll breathe in and out here. And then I want you to just drop again onto your knees. And we're going to be standing on our knees. So again, if you're on a hard surface, you might want to put a blanket under your knees to get a little cushion. Let's step one foot out in front and get the heel a little forward of the knee. Have this foot in line with the same hip. And then just start to put the weight into that front foot, letting the back hip move forward. And then push the weight back. Now we're going to add some pressure, some weight into this back knee and shin, pressing them down into the floor to create some action in the front of the thigh. And as we're doing that, we're going to let the weight move forward. So we're getting a more active stretch in this quad here. And then push the weight back. Let's do that again. Push the back knee and shin down as the front knee moves forward. We're going to hold here. Let's take the same arm as the back leg now and reach it up. So that knee and shin are pressing down as the arm is reaching up. Then when you're ready, let's sweep the other arm forward and up. Again, press the back knee and shin down as the arms and ribs and shoulders lift up. Let's take a breath here. And as we exhale, we can lean forward and bring our hands down. Same hand as the back leg, let's put that palm on the floor. Take your other arm out to your side and just open that arm up toward the ceiling. Try not to let the knee open out to the side. Hug the knee in, take a breath here, and then bring that arm down. All right, let's curl the back toes under and see if we can press up to a lunge. Make sure your feet are hip distance apart. We're going to push into the front foot and leg and straighten ourselves up. Let's square our hips to the front of the mat. And we're just going to bend and straighten the front knee a few times here. So can you have your back heel pointing straight back here? So we get a nice stretch in the back leg and back hip as we're doing some mobility work and strength on the front leg. The next time the front knee is bent, pause here. Drop your arms down and again, inhale and sweep them up and overhead. Exhale and lean forward. Bring your hands to the floor. And let's just drop onto the back knee and push the weight back and change legs. So we'll step the other foot out in front. Heel a little forward of the knee. First time, just let the weight move into that front leg. Let the back hip move forward. Just experience whatever sort of stretch feels good for your first time. And then push the weight back. Now can we again put some weight into that knee and shin, kind of pressing down as the weight moves forward. So there's some action in that thigh. And then push the weight back. So again, kind of actively pushing down with that back knee and shin as the weight moves forward. And then same arm as the back leg, sweep it up into the air. The knee and shin press down as the arm reaches up. Take a breath. And let's take the other arm and sweep it up. Breathe in as we reach both arms overhead. As we exhale, we'll lean forward, bring the hands to the floor. Same arm as the back leg is on the floor. Other arm opens to the side and reaches up. The knee wants to drop out, but hug the knee in as you breathe in and out here. And then bring that hand down. Can we curl the back toe under and press up to lunge, and then press into the front foot to straighten yourself up. Hands can go to hips. Square your hips forward so your heel is going back, and then bend into your front knee. Push down to straighten. Bend into your front knee. Push that foot down to straighten. Do that again. And then the next time the front knee is bent, pause there. Drop your arms down and sweep them forward and up and overhead. Big breath in. And then exhale your hands all the way down. You can drop to the knees and then go to down dog, or just transition right away to down dog. We're going to breathe in and out here. And then let's walk our hands back towards our feet, lowering the heels down, ending up folded over bent knees here. We'll take a breath into the upper back. Allow the breath to release. And then let's draw the belly in and begin to roll ourselves up, taking our time to unfurl. Stack those vertebrae. Eventually lift your head up. With your feet planted, reach your arms out wide. Inhale and reach up and overhead. And exhale, arms down at your side. Great. All right, let's pick up our weights. And I'm going to grab my heavier weights. I think that's going to be just fine. So standing with our feet beneath us, I want you to start with like cactus arms, right angles. And so we're going to, first we'll do the arms. So we're going to take the arms up. We're going to bring them forward. We're going to lower the elbows in front, and then we're going to take them out. And as the arms go up, we're going to lift our heels up. Bring them forward. As the arms come down, we're going to lower our heels and open. So press up, heels come up, arms forward, heels come down, and then we open. Press up, heels come up, forward, heels down, and open. One more time like this, up and forward and down and open. Now we're just going to change it a little bit. We're going to bring them forward and then go up, whoops, and then go out and lower down. Bring them forward, heels go up, hopefully, arms go out, heels come down. Bring them forward, arms and heels go up, open out and lower down. Bring them forward, arms go up, open out, and bring them down. Great. From here, can you drop your forearms parallel to the floor and then lift them up? Drop your forearms parallel. As the arms go up, lift your heels up. Drop your forearms parallel, heels go down. Bring them forward, heels go up. Lower them down and lift them up. And lower them down and lift them up. Two more. Lower them down and lift them up. And lower them down and lift them up. All right, arms out to the side. We're just going to hug into the waist and lift them up. Hug so the arms stay like in a bent position. We hug into the waist. As we lift the arms, we'll lift the heels. Hug into the waist and then lift the heels. Hug in and lift. So as your arms go up, you don't need to shrug your shoulders up by your ears. Okay, we're just working from the shoulder. We're not working the muscles in the top of the shoulder or the neck. So let's do 4 more of these. 4 and 3 and 2. And then we're going to give those shoulders a break. Rest your arms. In fact, you could just put your weights down. Give the arms a rest. We're going to work on balance a little bit here. So let's maybe put our hands on our hips. I want you to really feel your feet on the floor. You might even close your eyes to really feel that connection. Feel like you're sending your roots down into the floor, into the ground. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So we're going to balance on one leg. You choose which leg. Shift your weight into that leg, but try not to shift your hips to the side. And then just take your other leg and bring your knee up. You can flex your foot. So just kind of a simple basic balance, just balancing on one leg and bringing the knee up. And so balance is a good thing to practice. It builds strength in the muscles that support us as we balance. And some days our balance is better than others. So it's an opportunity to practice kindness and patience and forgiveness with ourselves when we're struggling with our balance. So let's just hold for one more breath. And then we'll just put that foot down. So let's again reestablish that grounding, which can really help our balance, right? Feeling our connection to the ground. And then when we're ready, we'll shift the weight into the other foot. And we're going to lift the other knee up. And we're just going to hold. So we're just practicing, right? And some days we do better than others. Sometimes one side is better than the other based on a lot of different factors. So if we're wobbling or struggling, let's just be kind to ourselves, patient, understanding, accepting. We'll take one more breath. And then release. Nice work. Okay, we'll come back to that later. But for now, let's again pick up our weights. And we're going to have our feet hip distance apart, and we'll take a big step back with one foot, lifting that back heel up. And we're going to do lunges. So we're going to bend both knees, back knee bends down, front knee bends. And we're going to bicep curl where your fists are facing you, and then lower down. And then we're going to bicep curl with the arms going out and lowering down. So we're curling in and down, and we're curling out and down. Curling in and down and out and down. Curling in and down and out. And I'm having a knee issue, so my lunges are going to get not very deep, but feel free to go a lot deeper than I'm doing here. In and down, and out and down. Let's do 4 more. And 3 more. And 2 more. And last one like this. We're going to come back to these. All right. Step that back foot in. Before we do the second leg, we're going to do some more shoulder work. And this is going to activate your core as well. So we're going to lift one arm out to the side and one arm forward, and then lower it down, and then switch. One arm out to the side, one arm forward. And do you notice how your core fires? Because otherwise you'd kind of tip over, I think. So we're working the shoulders, but I also feel activation in the core here, just to stabilize. So let's do 4 more on each side. And 3 more. Trying to get them up to the height of the shoulders. And 2 more. And last one. Great. Okay. We're going to take a big step back with the other foot now. We're going to lift that heel up. Feet are hip distance apart. And we're going to do that same series, biceps. Curling in and curling wide. And curling in and curling wide. And curling in and curling wide. Yep. Our biceps are strong, so it takes a lot of reps to really feel like they're working. Let's do 4 more. You know, I like to count down the last 4, so you know, maybe you just got to push yourself to get to the end, or maybe you got to like work a little deeper, harder to really get the most out of it. I think we have 1 more. In and out. Okay. And L raises again. These are called L raises. Out to the side and down. Out to the side and down. Out to the side. It's tempting to lift your shoulders up with that movement, but you don't need to do that. We're not working those elevator muscles. We're working those big shoulder muscles, the deltoids. So let's do 4 more. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Great. All right. So we just want to work the back of the shoulder as well. So I want you to really fire up your hamstrings. Remember we served that platter. So I like that idea of scraping gum off your shoe to feel activation in the hamstring muscle. So fire up those hamstrings as you hinge forward from the hips. You know, what's holding you up, you can let it all be your back doing all the work. But if you feel a little activation in your hamstrings, it can help support the weight of the upper body as you hinge forward. So your arms can drop down, and we're just going to do a reverse fly out to the side. So can you feel how the back of the legs are helping you here to hold up that hinge forward upper body? And then we're just lifting out to the side and lowering down. Out to the side and lowering down. Lifting up. So we're paying attention to how it feels. We have heavier weights and lighter weights. We can always switch it up, right? We're going to do 6 more and 5 more and 4 more and 3 more and 2 more. On the last one, can you hold it out there? Hold it out there, hold it out there, hold it out there, and then lower. Nice job. Okay, we can put our weights down. Let's just come into a wide stance. We'll turn the back foot in. We'll turn the front foot out. And we're going to bend and straighten the knee. Just got a little hip mobility work in here. And then the next time the knee is bent, we'll pause. We're going to tip the hips over, bring in the forearm on the front thigh. Let's take the other arm and we're going to sweep it up and overhead, thumb up, pinky down. We'll roll the belly and chest under that arm and reach long with that top arm. And then we have this bottom arm on the bottom thigh. Can we take the bottom arm and reach it overhead as well? So now we're kind of having to support this long lever of the arms. We're going to breathe in and out. Now, can you bring your torso upright and then tip it over? And then bring your torso upright and then tip it over. And see if you can have this movement come from your low belly, not from your head, not from your arms. Your head and your arms are kind of following. All right, we're going to bring the arms up. Take a breath. And then relax the arms down. We'll straighten this front leg. We'll turn the feet forward and we'll go to the other side. Back foot turns in, front foot turns out. We're going to bend and straighten a few times. You might be feeling a stretch. You might be feeling an interesting sense of movement in the hips or the ankles. Let's go ahead and bend the front knee. And then from the center, tip yourself over. Bottom arm on the bottom thigh. Other arm's going to sweep up and overhead. Thumb up, pinky down. And then we're going to roll the belly and chest under that arm. Reaching long with that top arm, we'll take a breath in and out. Now, can we take that bottom arm and lift it up as well? We'll take a breath in and out here. And then moving from your center, bring your torso upright. Take a breath. And then tip yourself over. And then bring yourself upright. And then tip yourself over. One more time. Bring yourself upright. Tip yourself over. Let's bring ourselves upright. Take a breath. and then relax the arms. Great. Pull straighten the front leg, turn the feet forward, bring your feet together. Alrighty, we're going to make our way down onto the floor. And this is where we're going to do that sliding action. So I mentioned if you're on a wood floor, you might take a blanket and unfold it and place your heels on the blanket. Since I'm on a carpet, you know, the blanket will not slide. So one technique that can work is to just put your feet in to some plastic bags and tie them on. After the pandemic, I have quite a few plastic bags, unfortunately. So put them to good use. And if you don't have anything and you just want to slide your heels, you got carpet. If you slide your heels on a carpet, you get a little resistance even with just using your feet. So you want to have your legs on a slidey surface. You don't want them interacting with your mat. And you're going to lie back. And we're going to start with our legs extended, your feet about hip distance apart. And we're just going to slide the heels in towards our bum. And then press the heels in and extend the legs out straight. So you're just sliding the heels in, bring them in close, and then sliding the heels out. So over time, you may start to notice the work in the hamstrings here. This is a nice way to target the hamstrings because we're targeting them on the pulling and on the pushing, eccentric, concentric contractions. And you're targeting the whole length of them here. So as you do this more and more, you're going to feel it more and more. You can also press your heels down with more pressure to feel it more, or press with less pressure to feel it less. So everyone's going to be different on how much pressure and how many repetitions you want to do. If you feel like that's too much, you can either put less weight on your heels or take a break. But let's go in and out one more time. And then the next time the legs are straight, we're going to just relax and take a breath. And when you relax, your feet tend to flop out to the sides. So you bring your legs into external rotation. And that's what we're going to want for this next round. So we're going to have the feet turned out, heels pressing into the floor. We're going to slide the heels in towards the bum and then slide the heels out. So it's kind of froggy. As your heels pull in, your knees are wider this time. And then the toes are still turned out even as the legs straighten. So we're going to work the outer hamstring a bit more here with this external rotation. Sliding the heels in, sliding the heels out. So again, if you want it to be harder, press your heels more firmly into the ground. And if you want it to be easier, put less weight in your heels. We'll go a little slower or take a break. But let's do maybe 4 more of these. With the feet externally rotated, the legs externally rotated. There's 2. Here's 3. And here's 4. And then when your legs are straight, just again, give them a break. Let everything relax. Take a breath. And then take your heels slightly wider than your hips and internally rotate your legs. So your toes, your legs turn in. And then do the same thing. Slide your heels in and slide your heels away. And slide your heels in and slide your heels away. So really working the inner hamstrings here now. You decide how much force you put into this. Ideally, you're feeling some resistance. You're feeling that work, that action in the back of the thigh. Let's do 4 more in this orientation here. And 3 more. And 2 more. And last one. And then give yourself a little rest, a little break. Breathe in and out. And then if you've got the bags on, you can take them off now. And then we're going to position ourselves on our mat lying down. We're going to do bridge pose. So we're just going to really notice how the hamstrings are involved. If you're really feeling your hamstrings, hopefully, as a result of what we just did, set yourself up for bridge pose. Heels under hips, feet distance apart, looking straight at the ceiling, not turning your head. Press down to lift your hips up. Feel how those hamstrings that we just worked so much are working to lift your hips up. As your feet press down, your hips go up, your knees and shins go forward. See how high up you can go on your bridge. Pressing down, lifting those hips up high. Take a breath at the top. And then lower yourself down slowly, gradually, incrementally. Releasing vertebra by vertebra by vertebra. Just allow your spine to articulate as it interacts with the floor. Take your time. Eventually, you'll find yourself all the way down, released into the floor. And let's do that again. So try not to turn your head here. Look at the ceiling. Press down to lift up. Keep pressing down. Knees and shins go forward. Take those hips up nice and high. You could even lift your heels to go a little higher. Could you keep your hips at that height even as you descend your heels down? Take a breath at the top. And then that nice, slow, gradual, incremental release here. Take your time. Really articulate. Mobilize that spine. Once you've released yourself all the way down, go ahead and hug your knees into chest. Maybe sway or do whatever feels good here. Breathe in and out. We'll finish up with a lying side twist. So with your knees in close, drop your arms out to your sides and let both knees drop all the way over to one side, stacking one knee on top of the other. And then reach back with that arm behind you. Turn and look at that arm behind you. And take a couple of deep breaths in and out here. Be sure to allow your exhale to fully empty. And then you can lift your top knee up, lift your bottom knee up, and let both knees drop all the way over to the other side, stacking one knee on top of the other, and then reaching back, turning and looking at that arm behind you. Breathe in and out here a couple of times. Deep breaths. Letting the breath go. A full release of breath in a twist will get that diaphragm to really release in a very beneficial way. And then lift your top knee, lift your bottom knee, come back to center, release your feet down. If you feel like taking one more pose, one more movement, feel free to do whatever feels good here now. And then we will begin to transition to our final relaxation. So if it's chilly where you are and you want to put on a layer, go ahead and do that. If you want to find a pillow or a blanket to go under you or over you, go ahead and do that. Take some time to set yourself up to be as comfortable as possible. Lie yourself back. And then just allow your body to rest into the floor. We are primed for relaxation now. We will worked a lot of muscles. We're ready to release. So all we need to do is allow. Allow the weight of the body to settle into the floor. Allow the muscles that cling onto the bones to begin to soften away. Releasing the muscles in the feet and ankles. Releasing the muscles in the lower leg, around the knee, and letting the muscles of the thigh just kind of melt into the floor. Letting the area of the pelvis, the belly, the hips, the seat, letting all those muscles relax now. Unclench, ungrip, soften, release. Allow your shoulders and arms to drop back. Let your palms relax. Let the weight of your head settle back. Allow all your facial muscles to soften, smooth, release and let go. And just rest here, body and mind. As you continue lying back, I'm just going to share with you one of my favorite readings from one of my favorite poets, Anna Faulds. She says, "This is what I have to say to you. You know all that you need to know. You already are all that you need to be. It remains only for you to recognize and acknowledge who you are, what you know, and the powerful presence that is awake within you. You think of yourself as fragile, but you are in fact strong. You sometimes feel alone, but you are in truth connected. Believe in this connection. Believe in yourself." I think those are really important reminders. So you're welcome to continue lying back longer if you'd like. If you're ready to transition now, you might begin to open your eyes. Bend your knees and bring your feet to the floor. You might gently roll to your side and take a moment or two to transition. And then eventually make your way up to sitting. We might close out our practice, bringing our hands to heart, taking a few moments for a reflection. perhaps sealing your practice with gratitude. I just want to thank you all so much for doing this Zooming with me this past year plus. I wish you all well. I thank you for being here. Peace.